Late last night, Alison received an email from the RSPCA with photographs of 2 common marmosets. She was shocked by what she saw.
One of them is profoundly debilitated, which is the male. The other one actually looks in somewhat reasonable condition, but the male is now completely debilitated. He's profoundly ricketed. The majority of his tail has either broken off or away, it's healed over. He's completely collapsed and can only shuffle on the ground, so he has one of the worst cases of rickets or nutritional bone disease that we've ever seen. Sometimes these cases are just so tragic, it's heartbreaking.
With still no change in the law governing the keeping of primates as pets in the UK, the number of small primates needing help keeps growing. Monkey World is often the first port of call for these pet trade victims, and the team are used to dealing with emergencies. Primate care staff member Steph is already preparing temporary accommodation for the pair, who are on their way from West Yorkshire.
This is really different from what we'd normally do. His room, I'm actually going to put almost no perching in at all. We don't want to encourage him to get up off the ground until we know that he can. If he looks like in the photos that his back legs are pretty seized up, so until he's got better mobility, you kind of want him staying low so you know he's not going to fall and damage himself.
The 2 marmosets have been on the RSPCA's watch list for more than 3 months, after being discovered living at a home in poor conditions. A local vet examined them and recommended improvements. But when the RSPCA returned a few weeks later, the male's condition had deteriorated even further.
He deserves a chance. You can see his legs are totally seized up. That's her. She's been taking the lion's share, assuming it is a girl. And I think he just can't move.
Oh.
Yeah. And he's Skeletor. Shameful.
He looks awful.
Yeah. I'm not sure that this is going to be a good or pleasant case, but I
worst
think it's...
case, we can peacefully help him go instead of suffer on.
Yeah, correct.
If the male, named Cobra, is to survive, he's going to need an enormous amount of help and care, along with therapeutic doses of vitamin D for his bones. But even that might not be enough. It's late in the evening when the RSPCA finally arrive at the park with Cobra and the female, Lola.
You're right. Long drive.
Okay.
The pair are taken straight to the park's hospital, where temporary bedrooms have been prepared. The condition of the male will need to be assessed before the pair can be moved into one of the marmoset houses.
Oh goodness, look at you, little man. Such tiny ear tufts. Yeah, he looks knackered.
Lola is first to emerge from the travel crate.
Look at
You used that tail through as well. Good job.
She appears mobile, although very thin and missing patches of fur. Cobra remains in the box, frightened and bewildered. The team are unsure if he's even able to move.
I just hope these guys can do it, can do the magic. And if anybody can, they can.
With Lola watching on, Steph tries to entice Cobra out.
There you go. Want to do it? That tail.
Good boy.
Oh, well done.
Eventually, he manages to shuffle himself into his new home.
Coba's really in a profoundly bad way. I don't know that it's going to be the right thing to keep him going, but we're going to give him that therapeutic dose of D3 and a day or 2. I think at this point in his life, Steph and I, neither of us can really tell how elderly he is. He's so malnourished, wasted away, and with such bad rickets. It's hard to tell his facial features, whether they're old or just compromised because of his medical condition. So at this point, I think we'd like to give him a day or 2's chance unless we find him struggling to even move. And at the moment, he's still got will to shuffle around.
The priority now is to get food and fluids into the pair. Steph has prepared a variety of healthy but delicious marmoset food, and she's filling waxworms with vitamin D3, good for strengthening bones.
Oh, this looks tasty. Let's come in here and get it. Good job. Watch tail. Thank you.
If Cobra is going to have any sort of future, the next 48 hours will be critical. Alison takes Thazar to meet another new arrival, and this one is not in good health.
He couldn't walk at all when we got him 1 week ago.
Common marmoset Cobra was confiscated from his owners by the RSPCA, along with his partner Lola. He was in an appalling emaciated state, with a broken wrist, bent spine, and missing half his tail. The team were unsure if Cobra would survive his first 24 hours at the park, but the tiny marmoset's spirit surprised everyone.
We have to get him to a point where he can meaningfully cling to a branch and not be in danger himself. I mean, it doesn't have to be mission impossible, but he has to be safe.
Thazar checks the X-rays supplied by the RSPCA. He's shocked by what he sees.
Yeah. The animal is so crippled that you cannot tell, really.
It's a tough call.
I think all depends on quality of life here, to be fair. And the treatment is D3 milk to support the calcium and UV lights.
The outlook for Cobra may be poor, but the team want to give him every chance.
But every day, I think he's stronger and better.
Good.
Okay, I think your next patient is here.
Let's have a look.
For Cobra, it's going to be one day at a time. And next up is the park's largest marmoset, mum of 4 Ruby. It's been just over a week since marmosets Cobra and Lola arrived at the park after being seized by the RSPCA. The male, Cobra, was in such a bad state the team were worried he might have to be put to sleep. The tiny primate was emaciated, had a broken wrist, was missing half his tail, and had a twisted spine as a result of rickets. But the care staff have realised Cobra has a lot of spirit and determination, and they're doing their best to give him every chance.
So this is just some water with a little bit of honey added to it. We are concerned that he obviously might become quite dehydrated if he's not eating enough watery foods as well. At this point, he's not really showing great ability to approach water bottles or even bowls that we place near him. Just tends to be tipping over. So by offering him some nice sugary fluids, we're hoping that it'll encourage him more to drink from us, so we can at least have some record that he is taking on board some fluids. Good boy.
Sharon is surprised how well Cobra has rallied.
Within such a short space of time, quite a big improvement in how bright and alert he is. And yeah, just having him take fluids like this is really reassuring, because keeping him hydrated is a big part of keeping him healthy.
While Cobra battles on, his partner Lola is in much better condition. She's relatively healthy and very mobile.
She's very bright, she's very responsive to the primate care staff, so she's come straight over, she's willing to take things from you, and as you can see, she's got no problem lapping up some of the honey water from the syringe. So yeah, it's really good to get that trust with her so early on. Yeah, that's very tasty. Good girl.
The fact the pair arrived at the park together is a great help for Cobra.
Having come to us with her is a big part of, why he is doing slightly better. They snuggle in together. She's obviously fairly boisterous compared to him, but she does kind of go in and snuggle up to him and gives him that companionship. So yeah, you can hear them just they do chat to each other, and we just need to pop her away from him so we can give him some specialist one-on-one care while he's recovering, and then the rest of the time they're together. So yeah, they're quite a sweet little pair.
Cobra has put on 30 grams in weight in just a week. He only weighed around 200 grams when he first arrived. But he struggled to pass feces, and the team are using a special treatment to help.
It's called a fecal transplant. So by taking feces from a very healthy animal, and mixing a small amount of it into some food and feeding it to an animal that maybe needs a bit more help with the gut bacteria. It somehow stimulates the production of good bacteria in the gut. So we've seen it work for other animals, and again our concern is we're not seeing him pass as much faeces as maybe we'd like. So we're hoping that this little custard and poop mixture might help him, just help things move along a little bit. So yeah, we'll just have to see how he takes it. There you go. Oh yeah, what do you reckon? Yeah, that's definitely happy noises.
Cobra laps it up. At this stage in his hoped-for recovery, it's all about making him feel comfortable. And so far, he's responding.
Yummy. That was good. He seems a little fighter. He's quite a feisty little guy, and the happy little noises that he's making. He wants to fight, so we want to help him with that.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since the park took over the care of a pair of marmosets, rescued by the RSPCA and in desperate need of help. The male, Cobra, was in such a poor state the team didn't expect him to make it through the weekend. But he's shown a strong will to survive, and the staff have been doing all they can to nurse him back to health. He's now moving around more, and Alison has some ideas to aid his recovery.
He's doing really well, so much so that yesterday afternoon he was caught climbing up the side of the cage, which is great because he needs to stretch those limbs. It's like doing physio at this stage. He needs to get those hands and feet opening and closing and gripping onto things and extending those hips and shoulders. We now need to make him work a little bit. So that's the goal for today.
To give Cobra something to hold on to when moving about, Alison has made a mat out of small branches.
Come on. Good girl. It's right here. You need 2 hands. Come on. Good girl.
But first, she needs to entice his partner Lola into the bedroom next door, so Alison can have some one-to-one time with Cobra. The therapy mat will help strengthen his muscles.
What do you think of that? Little man, you are so funny. See, those hands have to grip. I know. Oh, look at you go, little man. Walking across a rigid surface, because in that cage at his house, it was all soft blankets and so on, and that's part of his problem. He's not had any tensile force put through his limbs. So we need to start making him work a little bit. Yeah, so great. Also good for him mentally that he's interested in checking new things out. So we do have to sort of treat him with kit gloves, but at the same time, I think it's time to push him forward. Are you coming up for breakfast? Yeah, it's an insect. No? Have you had enough to eat today?
Alison also wants to add a few accessories to help Cobra if he gets stuck climbing and can't get back down.
Yeah, the problem was when he got on here, he sat on here and then didn't get off.
Cobra and Lola are victims of the British pet trade in small primates, and Alison's hoping the appalling conditions they've experienced will soon be a thing of the past.
In the coming months, there will actually be progress forward in terms of new legislation to ensure that these animals, if they're being kept, are kept in appropriate circumstances. No more bird cages in sitting rooms. But at least some progress is being made, and we'll continue to pick up the pieces as best we can.
Early morning at the park, and Alison's on her way to yet another pet trade marmoset rescue. She's preparing to make the short journey from Dorset to Fareham in the neighbouring county of Hampshire. A male marmoset there, named Clyde, has been on her waiting list for several years and could be the perfect partner for Jenny, one of the females at the park.
sort of sadly, I was able to go to our waiting list and come up with what is number 7 or 8 on our waiting list, Clyde, and also is approximately the same age as Jenny. So we try and sort of find like with like, so we'll have perhaps the same energy levels and things. Little bit worried that the video clip I've been sent, his hands and his feet look like they might have rickets, and his fur doesn't look the best, but I was told that that was him just getting up out of bed. But I'm still a little bit concerned about his condition. But we'll get Clyde back to the park, see what he's like, get him fed up and vitamins inside of him, and consider introductions to Jenny almost straight away. We'll want a day or two to settle Clyde in and see what he's like.
As Alison leaves for the 60-mile journey to pick up Clyde, his prospective partner Jenny is recovering from major dental surgery. The park's newest arrival has spent his first night in his new home. Alison collected male marmoset Clyde from his owner in Fareham, Hampshire yesterday. He's had less than 24 hours to get used to the sights, sounds and smells that will form part of his life from now on. The primate care team are keeping a close eye on the newbie.
It's really important that we get to know Clyde as a person and get to know his personality. But the more that we sit with him, the more we spend time with him, the more we can understand him, the more we can adapt our care to his needs, whether that be dietary based or things he might need in the room extra.
The team know very little about Clyde's background, apart from the information Alison gleaned from his owner.
He is absolutely obsessed with bugs, which is great because it's high in protein. He's an old boy, so it's really important that he, puts on a little bit of weight, starts building up a little bit of muscle. So crickets have gone down a treat. Waxworms, which is great because they're high in fat. So his appetite overall is great. We would be more concerned if he was coming in and he wasn't eating. So yeah, he's eating well. She's got a bit of funny teeth, haven't you, buddy?
It's certainly been a busy year for the small monkey team, with an influx of rescued individuals, all victims of the British pet trade. One of the most heart-wrenching was male marmoset Cobra, who arrived with his partner Lola. He was in a terrible state, emaciated, with a broken wrist, a twisted spine due to rickets, and missing half of his tail. The team didn't think he'd survive the first 24 hours.
That tail.
But he proved to be a fighter and for a few months briefly rallied. However, despite all the care and attention lavished on him by the staff, his condition was so bad it couldn't be reversed to give him a good quality of life.
We had to make the really sad decision to let Cobra go. We saw so much progress with him. We managed to get him so much better than he was when he first arrived. But unfortunately, the damage that had been done to him was simply way too extreme. He climbed a peak and got a little bit better, and then we just saw, from getting better, a gradual decline starting because he just couldn't overcome what had been done to him.
It was a real blow for the team.
One of the best parts and worst parts of the job for us is new animals coming in, them being in a state, but knowing, right, we can fix them. We can do something about it, we can make it better. And having Cobra coming in and spending so many hours trying to do something for him and make him better, and knowing he never had a chance to begin with, that is heartbreaking.
But despite the anguish of Cobra's tragic life and loss, the following days have brought some positive news. Cobra's partner Lola has found a new friend. She's been introduced to Colin, a male marmoset whose previous partner also passed away.
He's a lovely boy, she's a lovely girl, and she was just delighted to have company again. It's so important, that social interaction. So we've now got a really happy new little pair with Lola and Colin.
It's been quite a turnaround for Lola.
She's gone from an awful little bird cage in a dingy house in a room surrounded by dogs, cats, a barn owl, all these scary other animals, and inadequate care, awful diet, no perching, all the bad things, to 2 big bedrooms, a lovely outside enclosure that's blossomed in the spring, summer with all this leafy greenery, lots of wild insects in there for her to hunt down and catch, a lovely new boyfriend for her to snuggle up with, lots of grooming and interaction, because as much as she loved Cobra, he couldn't really groom her. He couldn't follow her around. He couldn't join her in threatening the neighbours and being part of a territorial team. And now she has all of that with Colin. She's doing so well. She's put some weight on. Little bit on the chunky side, I think, but we'll have to watch that. But other than that, she has a life now. Instead of an existence, she has a life.